we get into this video, aka Powders, let's talk about Fatal J real quick. Fatal J popped into my chat one time. He said, you should do Top Cow Tuesday. Here's the amazing thing. This is when Wildstorm Wednesday was all the rage. He drops that comment. He forgets it. I had to remind him that he's the one that pushed the idea. Jay and I, we sat down to watch this amazing Michael Turner documentary. Here's the shocker. Michael Turner's life and a lot of the things you see in this video, link down below. That's what she said. I didn't know. I was waiting for Top Cow Tuesday to get to a certain point to start dissecting and delving into not just the work, but the career and the life of Michael Turner. This collaboration with Fatal J is the beginning of that. And I cannot be more happy and just more proud of Fatal J and everything that he's done with his channel. I love his content. I love his live streams. You have to check out the Dark Council. Often the Dark Council is running on my drawing table as I'm trying to crank out work. So, quick promo, but let's start that video. There it is, aka Powders. The comic book reading experience. Witchblade number 3 is better than Witchblade number 2 is better than Witchblade number 1. Apart what we do here on this channel and overall on Top Cow Tuesday, we make a judgment call on do we go into the individual issues or the storylines as a whole. Depending, right? Like I make a judgment call if it's issue focused or not. With Witchblade, I decided to go issue by issue. And to do it in various different ways. I don't want to show you anything that's happening in issue 4, 2, or 1. I want us to sit down and judge Witchblade number 3 as it is. Because Witchblade gets too much flack on not being a good story, being all about the boobalas, being all about the hot babes, and not really having substance. AKA Powders. Witchblade issue 3, just standing on its own, is as good as anything out there on the market today. It's a little bit above anything DC and Marvel are doing just because this is new, good, and it's bright. You want to read issue 4 when you get to the end of this. You want to see how they all got all the characters, how they got to where they are. So you want to read 1, you want to read 2. Witchblade at this time, 5-6 months from now, they would forever have these deluxe editions of reprinted issues 1 through 4. Yeah, and prevalent, maybe like a year from now, would be these deluxe editions and these very cheap, accessible trade paperbacks that you could catch up on Witchblade. For a solid 2 years, that's what the industry did. That was a really big reading pattern, and it was new for American comics because at that time we never had anything new, continuity based, that the industry as a whole wanted to catch up on. Now, the journalists at the time, right, everyone would label Michael Turner as just like a booby guy, and they would ignore even what's in front of our face here, your face and my face, which is the mastery of every single level of comic book production. Coloring, inking, layout, graphic design. You might say this looks dated, this looks very 1996. Be mindful. 3 years from now, Top Cow and this production method became the centerpiece of Image Comics, and it was the last time Image Comics truly competed with what Marvel was doing and what DC was doing. At that point, Image faded into a boutique publisher, and they were never at the forefront of the industry ever again. Let's go. So we get Sarah Penezi, right? Look, you guys love it when I butcher names, right? So She killed her partner. She killed her best friend accidentally in the earlier issues of Witchblade. And now she's at the morgue. And this is where the book truly turns into like horror. She's in the morgue. I mean, look at this expression. And she's talking to her dead friend. And he says, "You killed me. Next time, call for backup." And she, in a way, right, like helps him like pass on. And she goes home, and just the coloring alone, I mean, we go from this teal tint to this yellow bright sunlight. We can tell it's morning. We can tell she's been up all night. We've all had nights like that. And her friend shows up, knowing that she's been through hell, tries to cheer her up. She snaps. And Sarah's sister is like, oh my God. She's like, she is spazzing out. And on this page here, we start to get clarity on how Michael Turner really became the layout guy. Michael Turner's runs of layouts and his growth on layouts might be the best in comic book history. That might be Michael Turner's greatest contribution when it comes to the American comic book art form. Keep in mind, he's working with 2 writers here. He's in the studio system. So we want to imagine it's a little bit like a bullpen. There's lots of phone calls, right? There's all of this stuff. There's even office managers to help these books get churned out on time. But the pages, every single page in Witchblade, it's almost like a one and done intent, right? Like we don't have much of an overlap. Like we end the scene, we begin the scene. We end the scene, we begin the scene. And then Sarah is just, yeah, this dude in the background just getting jacked. He's benching like 325. But Sarah's like an active, bright person. We also have Ivan Drago here and Rocky going toe to toe. Yeah, nice little reference. Nice little Easter egg. And Sarah gets invited. She gets a little bit stalked. I can see it in your face. Sometimes silent company is more healing than words of advice. Evidently, not in the case, my mistake. And she's like, look, man. She's like, I don't want your phone number. I'm just like, and he's like, hey, it's not about the phone number, right? Because there's, like, Sarah's still in the middle of all of these forces. She's in the middle of a serial killer, like high crime, like mafia crime syndicate, the police office, her home life, right? Like, it's, and we're only in issue 3 and we understand all of these elements. But yeah, she's like, this guy giving me his number. And then boom, she gets approached again. Freaks out a little, right? We need a little bit of action. She kicks the door, runs into this dude, and he tases her. So we can kind of say, like, some people were trying to intercept Sarah before, well, the other guys got to her. And what happens here? The other guys get to her. And she ends up, I mean, if you're going to get kidnapped on the giant yacht. But AKA Powders. Here we go. Jonathan D. Smith. We can just say on this page, this spread, Jonathan D. Smith arrives at the scene. He takes this, and we don't have a lot of documentation on it. He has a collaboration, a level of collaboration with Michael Turner that's undocumented. They take everything you see here into these flash covers that we will profile in 2026. There is this like melding, it's a Vulcan mind meld here, guys, where they just know what to do. And the way he is hitting, so like the whole day goes by, right? Like we kind of want to say, right, we have sunrise here, and then we have sunset here. So these crime dudes, right? They're like, hey, right? Like, you were there a couple nights ago where all those people were slaughtered, where your partner died. They're like, make it work. So they put a gun to her head, they shoot her, and she just doesn't know she really doesn't know what's happening. Now, some of this is like horror trope, right? Like, our antagonist isn't quite tracking it the way that the audience is. Because the audience would be like, just put the thing on and kill everyone. But Witchblade has horror roots, so let it have some horror decision making in its storytelling. But we see that the Witchblade gauntlet, Sarah's able to summon it, and we might want to say, in all of the issues so far, this is the biggest coloring mishap and miscue between JD, Mr. Smith, and Michael Turner, where we want a glow. Like, we want his face to be bright because the Witchblade is activated. So we want his back turned, it to be so bright, he turns around. By the time he turns around, they get this. Sarah, completely armored up, Witchblade flaming, and then let's go, action scene. So we get like similar layouts that what we got with issue 1, where it's more horizontal than vertical, as we see here. They're trying to get her. Everyone's blasting. She gets into the ocean. I mean, guys, right? JD and Michael Turner had a way of talking. And she gets out. She's on Ellis Island. Okay, like, it doesn't matter. Like, the proximity of it all, it doesn't matter. Swimming from a yacht at night, like this far out, even that far out from Ellis Island, like, no one's making that swim. But she's also Witchblade superpowered. And what we get here, like, a little bit of, like, simile here, where, right, the bad dude, the mafia guy that kidnapped her, he turns around to the bright light, right? Boom. Sarah turns around to these helicopter spotlights, and look how Turner draws this hand. And dude, it's Ian coming in from above. To be continued. And we get this evolution of the Witchblade covers where they become, I don't want to say movie poster, but they're almost like Spencer posters where college kids can buy these covers and you can put them up in your wall. I've always said this. When you produce comic book artwork, it should be for the comic book. Your second purpose should be, can I put it up on the wall? Top Cow unlocked that, unlike any publisher at the time. Not even X-Men. X-Men at one time had all the posterized covers. Jim Lee X-Men, posterized covers. It went away when Jim Lee left X-Men. But guys, solid issue 3. Can't wait to bring you issue 4.